Good morning, class. So it is Wednesday, and I have been excavating my base of level 2 for the test unit that is currently targeted to try and hit a possible slave quarter at the corner of my fence. It's I'll let you watch. What I basically demonstrated this morning was a cleaning pass. Nothing special, honestly, nothing you haven't seen before, but maybe it's a good thing to just see me at work. This is not very long. I came out this morning for my morning cup of coffee, and a couple of beautiful does in my yard, just probably about 50 feet away from me. I did take some video. Maybe I'll edit that into this intro. So it's a gorgeous morning, but we're gonna get rain soon. So tomorrow I'm probably gonna demo my own version of the artifact washing. Remember, this week was to introduce you to artifact washing and finishing up levels and going to your next level. I think we've done that pretty well. Please, of course, bring your questions. But at this point, you should know what the main goal of each level of a test unit is. Hit the level, either arbitrary or natural strats, and close your bags, write your tags, take your notes, take your photos, close that level, set it aside, start your new level. So if you're comfortable with that process by now, you are welcome to go however many levels ahead that you feel like you are able to in your test unit. So if you want to go on to level 3, hopefully you guys won't have a level 5, okay? That would mean you're getting down to like over half a meter deep. And if you are, that's pretty deep. Most test units should hit some type of subsoil by then. So if any of you, I know for instance Keegan has a lot of land and he's got a decent amount of time, he might continue excavating, finish up test unit 1 and start on test unit 2. I'm fine with that, provided you follow all the directions that we've been doing so far. The 2 things that are still to come are feature documentation and excavation, which will be important if any of you hit a feature. So please, if you think you found something, photograph it and text it to me right away, okay? Because I don't want you blowing through something that might actually be a great learning example. We've now had myself hit a septic pipe, one of our students hit a septic pipe, and one of our students encounter an unmarked electrical wire of unknown purpose. It could have been telecommunications or something, but it was some unmarked wire in their unit. So this is why I was worried about doing this backyard archaeology. Backyards are filled with these hazards. So be careful. Luckily, as field school students, you should be going kind of slow. That's expected. Remember, we're not going for speed, we're going for quality right now. So if you're working properly with a trowel and such, you should be able to encounter any of those without damaging anything. Of course, if you ever run into any problems, please call, text, email, anytime. All right, so without further ado, a cleaning pass to finish up the base of a level. I will explain that in this video demo. We're going to have a brief discussion in class, and then I don't know. That's what I had to say. It's early. I'll see you in. There's a fawn checking out the STP over there. another one in the back. They haven't noticed me yet. All right, it is cleaning pass time. In other words, I've hit my level and I need to clean up for photographs, or at least to see what I've got at the bottom of my unit. It is mostly clean, but if a crew chief ever tells you to do a cleaning pass, one cleaning pass, what they mean is get all the goddamn crumbs out of there and straighten your walls. So, a cleaning pass, you start at one end and you go to the other, and then you try not to retrace your steps, getting all the crumbs out. What you see this morning is actually, like in the walls, this is actually what I've removed recently. So this is dried out and this is a little bit wetter. But it also is kind of the sod versus layer 2. I hit this gray modeling on this end. There's like a little patch of gray modeling right there. And it's just generally little heads of gray. I'm not seeing it as much in this end. So let's trowel it off. Get all the crumbs out. Notice I'm getting little stones right at the interface at this base of my level 2. I did notice that while I was trowel scraping this morning. Now, most of the time when you're troweling, those things will just kind of pop out accidentally. That's not a problem. If they do stay in, leave them. They're good indications of what you encountered at the floor. But quite a few of those popped out. And again, that's a very common thing. If I hit another layer that is a real cultural or natural layer, the texture size and artifact content will change. So you'll start getting more pebbles or whatever. So I'm gonna kind of leave that there to remind myself to take a note that a few more pebbles were showing up at this layer. And I'm just gonna trowel this down, work the walls. The question is here, there's a little flake of brick right there. You hear the gravel in there kind of kicking up. The question is this side any different than this side? The far side from me different than this side? You see how if I scrape my walls, I scrape them sideways. If I'm cutting my walls, I cut them down. But if I just want to see my walls better, I scrape them side to side. Because if you scrape up and down, you may smear the layers. So if you need to cut back your wall, you cut down. But if you want to kind of clean it, go side to side like this. Now, of course, that created more crumbs on the floor that I've got to clean up. See how anal we get? And I am not the most anal, I swear. So, do know some archaeologists are going to be more lax about these things. Some archaeologists are going to be way more anal about this. Straight walls, flat floors. It is the ideal in archaeology. All right, I'm going to clean up this loose out of here. But so far, I'm not really seeing any lines. There does seem to be some differentiation right here, but I think that's an artifact of how I excavated, that there was a little hump there or something. I have to trowel it down a little bit more, find out. Better get this loose out first. So, I believe I framed this right. You can see this. I've left also some stones in the wall. I have a nail sticking out of the wall right here. So any artifacts or stones sticking out of the wall stay in the wall unless they fall out. If they fall out, they fall out. Okay, we don't put things back. All right. So let's last little scrape here. See if I see any differentiation. As far as I can tell, it's still kind of grayer over there and browner over here, but no distinct delineation. And I'm tempted to think that this side's just a little high or something, but really can't say. This is hard with my left hand. Switch back to my right. Oh, this wall needs to be cut back. I was actually jamming in my music. Oop, little fleck of brick there. But since I'm using my phone to record today, I can't listen to my music and record video. I thought I'd give you a excavation music video this morning. Have me jam into the tunes while I do a cleaning pass. And since I'm so unsure of what I'm seeing, I really have no problems I don't want to dig down, but I have no problems kind of just continuing to scrape a little bit to make sure I'm not missing anything, because I don't seem to be scraping through anything important. A piece of glass right in the floor. I'll leave that for now. All right, so once I get this corner cleaned out, what am I gonna have? Yeah, again, I don't know if the camera is gonna pick this up for you all, but it's just in general a little grayer than above. And I see it now here, I see it in that corner here, and it's starting to be right here. So it's probably gonna be all the way across, which means it's just kind of another layer. So as far as I can tell, I don't have any edge of anything yet, which is a little unfortunate. I would think by this depth I would start to see that, but you never know. I could be literally just 2 centimeters above something more interesting. All right, so I'm just gonna clean this off, take my depths, take my notes, close up my bags, make sure everything's tagged and everything. If I were you, I'd then take photo and everything of this. I might actually take a photo of this. The sun's not out, so I've got perfect lighting at the moment. But yeah, there's nothing here. I was really hoping I was going to hit the top of a feature. I was hitting it almost everywhere else in this part of the yard. Well, I wonder if that's why, think about it this way. If I have a flat place up here at the edge, we'll talk about what I would have expected the house actually to be, but it would have rested on the surface, not in the surface. Most of the slave quarters were not post in ground. They were log frame sitting on the ground, like on a pad. So it's not always going to go into your soil. And the idea that this is cleaner so far than everything downhill is interesting, because if, and again, this is if, this continues to be not as featurey as down slope towards the creek where the other outbuildings are, then in some ways this is almost a negative space, right? So they were tossing trash over there, but up here, not so much. I don't know. This is why, a lot of STPs, a lot of test units give you more of a pattern of where artifacts are and where they aren't. And sometimes where they aren't is actually an important indication of where something else happened. Like, for instance, in African-American slave communities, the yard right around the house would be very clean because it was always swept. And so, you never know exactly what you're finding when you only dig one little window into the soil. All right, so I got to clean this up. Let's just take a look here at my walls. Let's talk about them for a second. These are okay. I'm happy with this. It's not perfect, but it would be a decent hole for most archaeologists. I could crisp up the corner right there. Just make a nice right angle. But those are just fine points for photos and stuff. My walls are straight. If I go over my walls, literally put my head over the walls and look down, they aren't, most importantly, they aren't cutting in. I'm not undercutting my walls. In other words, the one thing you really don't want to do is dig here to the point where you actually go under the string, because then your walls will eventually collapse. So my walls are straight up and down. Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty decent hole, pretty decent base of layer 2. Unfortunately, no feature. All right, sorry to disappoint, but don't worry. We still have, a couple weeks. Think about how quickly I dug this. This is just 2 days. So I will be digging more, and we will be finding more. And I'm going to be digging more here. We might still find something. All right, well, I'm going to clean this up.